a Comic Book. I'm Ulysses Campbell.
I'm Andy Hirschberger.
And you know who you are. Now, of course, you're probably looking for our stalwart Patrick Michael Strange, who is not here at Jeppy's Entertainment Museum with us, but we're going to be hearing from him soon because he's got a wonderful interview that he's going to bring to us exclusively for Two Guys in a Comic Book. So don't go anywhere. I promise you're going to love this show. So just stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Dude!
You're late, man.
Oh, man. Oh, hey, Andy. Hey, Yuli. I guess I'm late to make it out to the museum. You know, I've been burning this midnight oil to just get us all these great events lined up and all these creators. Guess the time got past me. You know what, though? I got something for us. Since I'm late, I got some friends around here. How about Chris Flick, the writer and creator of Capes and Babes? That dude's awesome. We'll be right back after this, and I'll have some friends over, and I'll have some content for you guys. Come back. This is Two Guys in a Comic Book.
Welcome back to Two Guys in a Comic Book. We're still here at Jeppy's Entertainment Museum in the gift shop, which of course is my absolutely favorite place to be. And we're fortunate enough to still have Andy with us. So, you know, how we doing?
I haven't eaten in days.
You and me both.
I need a sandwich. Bad. Oh, I'm doing great. It's good to have you here. It's good to be in the gift shop with all our wonderful Spider-Man related stuff.
Yeah, we're
Because
really
Spider-Man's so out right now. Nobody remembers that he's one of Marvel's key figures. Well, with the Avengers taking all the attention nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Well, and especially because he's actually a member of the Avengers
Yeah,
now.
but I didn't see him in the film. I was looking for him.
I was too.
I kept telling my cousin, just wait till Spider-Man shows up. You're going to be really happy then. My God, did I have to pay them off an ice cream. Well, that camp is going to go to is going to help trim some of that off, but that's okay.
Well, I've heard rumors that they're trying to work something out with Sony to have Spider-Man appear in the next Avengers movie. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but
that would be very pleasing. I think a lot of us that have been reading Marvel from the get-go and know what the Avengers should be, feel that with the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man not being part of it, like we're getting a great product with the new movie. We're getting like this excellent presentation, but we're not getting the whole product. And the whole family, I should say, because we want those characters.
Yeah.
We read that they're an important part. Spider-Man needs to fight one of them. Wolverine should be in there. You know, they gotta do their thing. There has to be.
oh, I was going to say, do you remember about 25 years ago now? Actually, the young thing that you are, you probably wouldn't. But it was the first flirtation that Marvel had with Spider-Man and the Avengers. And there were two issues where he sort of appeared as a guest star and was interested in joining the team and getting on payroll because, of course, at the time the Avengers got $1,000 a week stipend, and he thought how wonderful that would be to be a member of the Avengers and to get paid for this.
I love how Peter is always the most impoverished genius. It's like, I just made web slingers, but I'm not going to make any money off of that. And then he tries to break into the Fantastic Four's web lair to try to get in with them because they have money. And nobody wants to write this guy a check. It's almost like Reed's one of those guys like, you know what's really good for you, Peter? Starving and me not giving you money.
Yeah, but I really loved that Spider-Man, But hey, but speaking of which, we've got Patrick, who is interviewing Chris Flick, Capes and Babes fame.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Hey guys, Yuli, Andy, look who I got. Yuli, you remember this guy? The artist, the writer, creator of Capes and Babes, my man, neighbor, we live in the same city, Chris Flick.
15 minutes away.
Dude, I met you at Virginia Comic Con with this book right here. It caught my eye from the corner of my eye. I was like, oh my goodness, that stuff looks amazing. I saw this big old wolf. I was like, that's cute. It's got it's a drawing factor with it. I don't know. Maybe I have a crush on wolves and stuff because vampires and the whole Twilight.
Werewolves need more love.
The werewolves need love too. So I caught this, I picked it up, loved it, and now I'm seeing 2 and 3. Wow.
Three, just published 3. It's going to be making its debut at Heroes this weekend.
Awesome. So what more can we expect from Capes and Babes? You know what? For the initiated who don't know about this great book, Capes and Babes. I'm gonna promote the hell out of this because Chris is a good guy and I'm loving Capes and Babes. Tell the initiated what they can expect from Capes and Babes.
All right, my pitch is normally Capes and Babes is about a strip mall, a comic book shop, and one crazy werewolf. So that's basically it. It's a werewolf that hangs out at a comic book store. If you like superheroes or stories with superhero slants on it, things like that. That's probably I do a lot of superhero spoof, things like that. Make fun of current storylines, things like that.
You watch Comic Book Man 1,000 times. I love you, Comic Book Man guys. I enjoy that show, but think Comic Book Man with the crazy guy turning into a werewolf. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so kind of it was eerily similar that when I started watching, I'm like, well, he's kind of like Roy.
So the werewolf. How did you create this concept? Where did Capes and Babes begin?
Capes and Babes was originally started out conceptual-wise was like it was going to be my graphic novel, and stuff like Box Office Poison, things like that. I was going to get all real serious, and it didn't have a werewolf in it at all. And it lingered, started that way before I got into Box Office Poison or any kind of independent type stuff. And then it just lingered in my mind. I never really did anything with it. Then I started going to more conventions, and webcomics started hitting big, and I started looking at that. And I did comic strips in college, and I said, you know what? I got a concept. I got the Capes and Babes. Capes and Babes is the title of a comic book store if I ever owned one.
Yeah.
I said, well, I got the title, I got the concept, but I wanted some kind of weird character, and that's when I came up with the werewolf character. Once I did that, I just went from there. I took all the serious drama stuff out of it and just got really silly.
And I am thankful for that because it's a good time. It harkens back to that old classic '80s for me feeling.
Well, that's purpose because I grew up in the '80s, hung out at comic book shops in the '80s, so a lot of my experiences are what I did when I was a teenager. So.
Definitely. So guys, I'm telling you, you have to check out Capes and Babes.
Now, Chris, quick question for you. How long does it take for you to develop a script?
Developing a strip, it was a long process. Like I said, it was many years until I got the humor aspect. But then for a strip, for a Capes and Babes strip, if I have the joke down pat, if I know exactly what I'm going to be talking about, I can get a strip cranked out in like 2 hours, from blank Bristol board to online. So the most time-consuming part is actually writing the blog after you get the strip up, because you have to write something about it. So yeah, that's on a good night. On a bad night, maybe 3.5 hours.
Cool.
Well, and as far as that business about the length of time it takes him to develop a script, it takes some people a long time, takes some people a short time.
Creative process is always interesting. The answers may seem commonplace to some, but when you really think about it, each artist brings their own different approach to it. And Chris's it's nice to hear that he's working at that level and still being able to put that stuff out.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm fascinated. Yeah. You summed it all up quite neatly. Yeah, and speaking of that, going back to Patrick for a minute, who still has Chris Flick with him. Chris, if Capes and Babes was to be turned into an animated film, who do you see playing the characters?
Good. That's a very good question. For the vampire girl, Ronnie, I think Tara Strong has some fantastic voices. She's all the way across the board. She can probably do a great Ronnie. I have no really hard concept of what these characters sound like, except for maybe Roy. Roy has a very gravelly voice. When I do hand lettering, that's one of the reasons why he always has a thunderbolt stem, is to simulate a growl. So a Tasmanian devil sounding voice character would be great.
Okay.
Mark Mark would probably be me. I wouldn't mind voicing him. And then Joey, she's based on my wife. If I don't say my wife, she'll probably kill me. She probably would never do it though. But that's a good one. I don't know who would really voice Joey.
Hollywood will probably want to throw a megastar in there.
Yeah.
To really sell it. Could you see like an Angelina Jolie, Charlize Theron?
You know, I would say,
Or maybe a Reese Witherspoon.
I would say, you know who I picture, because I see sort of the same character, not a big name, but she played the two-time girl on Tool-Time on Home Improvement. She would be a really great one because she would already know all the terminology with tools and everything. So
Pamela Anderson.
Pamela Anderson started out that way. Yeah.
I still love you, Pamela Anderson. I still watch Barbed Wire.
Barbed Wire.
Very interesting choices, wouldn't you say?
I was definitely impressed. I had a totally different lineup in my head, but those were great. I was actually hoping Jean Arthur could be it, but since she's dead, maybe he can just sample her voice.
That was great, Patrick.
Thanks, Pat.
Yeah.
If you're waiting for this printed format, you don't have to wait just for that, because these are essentially collections of his webcomic strip. So let's talk about webcomics. I saw it, I was first introduced by this book one, but then I went online, I was following the strip, and it's just, we have to wait every Wednesday for the new comic books, but instead of waiting every Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, new strips from this guy.
Well, not for me. So when you're doing it full time, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays are the new strips. Now the goal is eventually to get to Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But
you got family and everything. Yes.
Exactly. Monday, Wednesday, Friday is a nice schedule for me.
But that's the point, though. You're getting it Monday. You're getting it Wednesday. Because there's a new comic coming out. Every other Wednesday, or is it every Wednesday? So you're getting content, and that's just what I love about webcomic creators. Because it's fresh, it's cool, and it's also topical, which is also a good point.
Yeah. And I don't have now I'm really bad because I don't have a super buffer, so mine is actually very topical because it's right on the spot. So
Definitely.
Like right now, I'm in the middle of getting ready to do a Heroes Con story arc, so
Sweet.
it's going to be whatever I experience out at the con is what I'm going to come back and write about. So
Look forward to that. AVX, have you touched upon that? Some of the new titles going on, the new 52?
Yeah, actually, this sounds really bad because since I started doing this, I have no time to really, or money to go into.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
But I know what's going on, but I just don't have, all the comic books and stuff like that. So I know about the 52, and that's a good thing is a lot of my friends who follow the strip will tell me, hey, check out this one or check out this issue, and then I'll hop up to a local store and buy an issue here or there. But really, it's really bad for me to say because comic books have just gotten so expensive. But now that they're going digital,
that is true.
Yeah.
Can we, actually, you know what, I was getting ready to say, can we expect it digital? We're getting it digital.
Yeah.
And now we're getting the printed format. You're getting it in so many ways. There's no excuse to not pick up Capes and Babes. Capes and Babes, Capes and Babes. Chris Flick, this book is awesome. It is just so much fun. I enjoy it when I check it out. If they don't catch you at Heroes Con this weekend, where else can they catch you at? What other shows you got coming up?
When I get back a week after, I'll be in Southern Maryland Comic Con.
Great show.
All those sites, every place I'm going to go is on my website. Thinking about going to Virginia Comic Con, but it's the day after the Southern Maryland,
Okay.
so might be too exhausted after Heroes. Heroes is a 3-day con. It wipes me out. 6-7 hour drive both ways. So I'll see. But I'll be at Baltimore Comic Con this year. I'll be at SPX this year.
Okay.
I'm sharing a table with 2 other artists.
Awesome.
So it'll be my first time at SPX. I'm going to be doing Intervention Con.
Oh, it's a great show. SPX is a great show. I've never been to Intervention, but SPX, fun show.
So yeah, any place local I try to go to.
Okay. And if you're not local, if you're checking us out online, because we stream on YouTube and a bunch of other channels, check out Capes and Babes. Why don't you give the website real quick before we go to break?
www.capesandbabes.com. N as in Nancy.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thanks.
Yeah, it was great to see Chris, even though we don't have him here. You know, it's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
wonderful to get these interviews, and he's such a talent. You know, Andy, Spider-Man is kind of misunderstood by some, and I shockingly so. You know, I had the experience just recently. I ran into somebody who had some comic book knowledge,
Yeah.
who swore to me that Spider-Man was a thief.
Really?
Yeah, can you imagine? I said, you've been listening to too much of that stuff that Jameson puts out on the Daily Bugle.
Where did he get this idea from?
Well, actually, it was a she, and
Oh,
she
pardon.
felt that this is where Spider-Man got his money. You know, he would break up a racketeer and
Uh-huh.
skim a little off the top. I said, the one thing I can absolutely claim expertise in is comic books. I said, you are absolutely wrong. I said, I want you to show me the comic book where Spider-Man steals anything. I said, that's the whole problem. The guy never has any money.
I mean, if he was a thief, his uncle'd still be alive. He
Ah.
would have taken that guy's money that was due him and just walked out the door.
Or maybe the whole gate.
Yeah.
No, I was looking. You've got something interesting that's sitting over here behind you.
Well, yes, I do. I have copies of the latest Overstreet guide.
Whoa.
Two lovely covers here for the issues, the Avengers and the Catwoman. Which is your favorite?
I like the
That's-
Buscema cover.
Oh, yes, that's right, the Buscema cover, the Catwoman
I mean,
cover.
hey,
is-
well, Cat, I mean, she's pretty sexy, but I'm something of a purist, and so that really speaks to me.
Well, this is, it's I think like with the work that the guys do at Gemstone Publishing, Mark Huseman and J.C. Vaughn have really both come up with their excellent choices. Mark Huseman with Catwoman, J.C. Vaughn's with the Avenger choice, and they appeal to the DC and the Marvel fan, and they cover the summer market in films very well.
Very well.
Although Anne Hathaway is not as, how do we say, voluptuous as this Catwoman, but she'll probably do an excellent job in the film, as she is real and this is a drawing. And of course, our favorites, except I don't remember Black Panther being in the Avengers movie.
Well, now that's true, but I happened to have been down at the Heroes Convention in Charlotte this past weekend. Of course, Stan Lee was the special guest, and during the panel
Yeah.
that he gave on Saturday, someone asked about upcoming Marvel movies, and Stan said that he would love to see the Black Panther be the subject of the next Marvel film.
I heard that there was plans on having that out in 2014. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to be a film or they're going to go the TV route, but it seems a little unfair to have the one character be a TV show. Then again, it could prove lucrative because Marvel's been like batting 1,000 right now. Amazing stuff coming out from them.
Well, it might open the door, though, to having some of these characters that we know and love appear on television again. Because, of course, you know, years ago, back in when dinosaurs roamed the earth, when I was a young man, Marvel was the one that sort of had cornered the TV market, and DC had the films.
Well, I think since I suspect we're actually closer in age than my youthful appearance belies, but I remember in the 70s it was always Spider-Man, the TV show, or as it got broken down for me, because I was a little younger, was the 2-hour movies. The movie of the week was the Spider-Man block, which was the 2 TV shows put together, and of course, Spider-Man on the Electric Company.
I'd forgotten about that.
I used to subscribe to the magazine just for the Spider-Man page. Never thought to actually read the 32-page comic book.
Well, why would you?
When you're 8 years old, you want to see Spider-Man, and you think he's an Electric Company character. But I also had Batman growing up with. Of course, not the Batman that you would expect to see today. More of a jovial clown than a Clint Eastwood throat-inflicted tough guy.
That show really had some heart, though. The 1960s Batman TV series with Adam West and Burt Ward. I mean,
It's
particularly the
exceptional.
very early ones.
I think, no, it had great heart. It was hysterically funny. The writing on that is
I didn't get
incredible.
that so much when I was younger as I do
I
today.
did not either. But it, honestly, I hate to say it, that Bat car has never looked cooler. I'm sorry. I like the Adam West Bat car. I'd put it up against any other one of the vehicles. I don't think it's ever been topped on film.
You are not alone. I tell you something.
Yeah.
I had the privilege of meeting. There's an outfit that has the official license from DC Comics to reproduce the Batmobile. And I had the opportunity to meet these guys and to actually ride in one of the cars. I've got a picture sitting in it. It's like, and they only charge $150,000 for each one.
Wow, that's nothing.
But it's a beautiful car, and you're right. I mean, very iconic and something that is going to outlive all of us, as all of these characters will. Andy, it has been great talking to you.
This
You
is
know,
a pleasure.
You are a fine stand-in for my friend Patrick Michael Strange, who is not here today, of course, because he's on a top-secret mission, so we're going to keep that under wraps. But, you know, you stay where you are, and we'll be right back.
Chris Flick, Capes and Babes. If you haven't seen it, you gotta check it out. I'm telling you, you're just gonna love it. If you're a fan that grew up in the 70s, 80s, 90s like me, and was part of the Marvel Marching Merry Society, if I said that correctly, but I was.
I have the poster.
He has poster. I had used to have a little card.
I didn't have the card, but I had the big poster.
The one with by Michael Golden.
Yep.
Oh God,
Yep.
I want that. I'm gonna. You didn't hear this, but I'm gonna steal it from his house. You know, I used to love Michael Golden, and that poster was just amazing. Anyway, we're back from break, and I just want to really promote Chris Flick and his Capes and Babes book. It's just such a great book. Chris, last question. Actually, I have a couple questions. Capes and Babes, done by you, awesome guy, and it's a web comic that people can go out there and get. What are some other webcomic guys that are friends of yours, or just that are inspiring you? What webcomic guys are out there that you like?
Okay, well, you know, just this past week, I was invited to join the Webcomic Alliance, which was created by 3 other creators. Byron Wilkin does 1977, the comic, all about 1977.
That's the year I was born. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Don Griffith does Zorbert and Fred, about 2 aliens disguised as dogs.
Wow.
And Dres Rodriguez, he does a lot of long form illustration.
Okay.
And then another girl that I'm getting to know a little bit better now, Robin. She's in Denver and she does a lot of long form comics too. So Robin and I were just brought into the Webcomic Alliance forum. So they're really great. I got a bunch of friends. Joe Combs does Business Casual, all about business, about the office.
Okay.
Chris Watkins, who does a comic called Odori Park. I mentioned Chris because in the 3rd book, I have a whole section of like 10 artists who did versions of my werewolf character for me. They're fantastic artists in there. They really helped me out a lot. And
Avengers versus X-Men. I don't know if you've been reading it, but if you were to choose a side, whose side would you be on?
well, I'm gonna flip that around.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, here's my dream. George Perez Avengers versus John Byrne X-Men.
That is a good one.
You can't go wrong with that, right?
Wow. Wow. That's a good question. You got me there. That's like.
See, I'm torn because when I grew up reading Avengers, the Beast, I didn't even know the Beast was an X-Men. I knew him from George Perez drawing him as an Avenger.
Yes.
So I mean, how can you, if Beast is one of your boys, how can you root? Who do you root for? Because he's an Avenger and an X-Men. So I don't know how they're writing them in. That where's the whole allegiance for that?
That's a question that can just shut up a geek down to just make his brain melt, because you've just made my brain melt. Because I love both. John Byrne's X-Men is what made me love X-Men.
Yep.
George Perez on
Got me in the
Avengers is just
comics,
such-
back in
it's
the
classic.
comics when I was in high school.
So he shut me up, so I guess that means it's time to go. Chris Flick, Capes and Babes, give him the website one more time. Tell him how you can check the Capes and Babes stuff out.
Alright, www.capesandbabes.com comes out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Check out the website. You can find me on Facebook as anywhere online as Capes and Babes. I was telling Patrick I got a thing coming out every Wednesday called the Werewolf Wednesday. You send me a picture of you, I draw you as a cartoon werewolf.
How awesome is that? And pick up book 3. It's out now, Capes and Babes. This is Chris Flicks, Capes and Babes. Chris, my man, thank you for coming out. My neighbor, talented writer-creator, Capes and Babes. Check him out. We'll see you next time on Two Guys in a Comic Book.
Welcome back to Two Guys in a Comic Book. We're still here at Jeppy's Entertainment Museum. We've still got Andy with us, and I think that we're just about out of time, but I believe you've got a couple of minutes if you want to sort of get one of the last words in, about Spider-Man or about what's going on here.
Well, I'm definitely interested in discussing Spider-Man for a couple of seconds, but I would like to throw one more plug for the Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide, 41st edition, which is available from Gemstone Publishing, gemstonepub.com. Now that we've done that, I'm very impressed with this new Spider-Man movie. I have to say I'm a little disappointed Tobey Maguire didn't come back because he did a good job. Alan Garfield is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I think he's a good casting choice.
But Emma Stone as Gwen
Stacy.
is why didn't we get this movie to start with? I mean, it's like, why are we not getting that story? And hopefully they'll have the integrity, or should I just say, hopefully they'll have the wherewithal to take that story to its logical conclusion, or to follow the original publication.
They should. In fact, I thought that was one of the one weaknesses of the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, because of course I'm assuming that they wanted to use Mary Jane because she was the love interest in the comics at the time, and so they're thinking, all right, we'll sell more books if we make it closely resemble what we have here. But Spider-Man had a certain vulnerability, more so than a lot of superheroes, and the tragic situation with Gwen Stacy, I thought illustrated that exceptionally well.
Wow. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, and it's going to be interesting to see if Spider-Man will actually give the Avengers a box office run for its money, because in about 10 weeks we'll probably hear that the Avengers is the second highest grossing film of all time.
That would be welcome news.
Well, it looks like it might happen. Titanic is still sailing ahead slightly, but maybe they can sink that boat again.
Nice pun.
Yeah.
I like that.
Couldn't figure out where that one came.
Well, we'll have to see though with this Spider-Man movie, because as you point out, they have some opportunity here to mirror the events of the comic book. It's another reason I'm very happy to see that they have Gwen's father, Captain Stacy of the NYPD, in there too.
And Dennis Leary looks like he's really filling the role out nicely.
Yeah, shockingly so.
He's a hit and miss actor in my book, but this looks like it's definitely going to hit with me, and probably hopefully for the audience.
Also, the lizard looks scary. I've seen some of those previews.
I've only seen him with the human face.
Oh, really?
I'm happy to hear that. I was a little scared it was going to be another case of actor not wanting to be off screen when in a costume.
Yeah. I think they CG'd him, as the lizard, and he's really very frightening, inhuman kind of thing. So that we'll have to see what happens, but I'm extremely optimistic about this.
I am worried that we'll keep seeing Spider-Man's mask get ripped off every 8 seconds, but we can live with it with a good narrative. But
on that, we'll have to see. But on that note, thank you for joining us for another scintillating, exciting episode of Two Guys and a Comic Book, and we'll be back. You keep tuning in, because we love to have you and we love to do this. And Patrick, thank you for the fabulous footage that you got for us.
Thanks,
wonderful
Pat.
clips with Chris Flick of Capes and Babes. And, we'll be looking forward to having you back next time, too, on Two Guys and a Comic Book.